Welcome back to ZE Coins. Today we are diving deep into a mystery that keeps showing up in comment sections and garage sale bins alike. You typed it into Google and maybe even shouted it across the room, the 1999 D1788 quarter. Is it a real rarity, a $1 million coin, or just another state quarter from the 50 state quarters program? Stay tuned because I am going to tell you everything about the history, the errors that can make these quarters worth real money, what the market actually pays right now, and how to spot the handful that could be valuable. Intro and why this matters. In 1999, the United States Mint launched the first set of the 50 state quarters program. Those coins were a huge hit. Millions were struck and millions were spent and saved. Because so many were made, most 1999 state quarters will only ever be worth face value. But like most mass-produced coins, the ones collectors truly chase are the rare errors and the ultra-high-grade examples that survive decades of careful storage. Over the years, videos and listings have circulated claiming extreme values, even claims like a 1999 quarter being worth more than $1 million. We are going to cut through the hype and give you the real picture, backed by market examples and expert resources. CoinWeek.com. What does 1788 mean on a 1999 quarter? First, let us clear up the confusion about the numbers printed on the coins. The 1999 Georgia state quarter has the number 1788 on it. That number is not the year the coin was minted. It is the year Georgia ratified the U.S. Constitution. The coin itself was struck in 1999, like the other state quarters in the first year of the series. So when you see 1788 on a 1999 Georgia quarter, you are looking at a historical reference to the state, not the minting date. That is why you might also see 1787 on Delaware quarters and 1789 on Connecticut quarters depending on what they are commemorating. CollectorsAlliance.com. Why people say 1999 D1788 like it is special. A lot of the chatter online uses shorthand. 1999 D refers to a 1999 quarter struck at the Denver Mint. 1788 is the historical date on some state designs, especially Georgia. Put together, people say 1999 D 1788 to point to a 1999 Denver minted Georgia quarter. The coin itself is not inherently worth big money simply because it says those numbers. What can make one worth a lot are errors, unusually high mint state grades, or extremely rare die variations. Those are the things that drive value, not the printed historical year. Coin identifier. Common error types for 1999 state quarters that collect big money. Here are the realistic error varieties that have been known to command premiums for 1999 quarters. Off-center strikes. These occur when the planchet is not correctly centered under the die when struck. The more off-center and the more of the design visible, the rarer the coin and the higher the value. Mild off-center pieces are worth modest premiums. Major off-center strikes with strong detail can reach hundreds to thousands on the open market. Examples of off-center 1999 quarters have shown up on auction sites and sold for many times face value. eBay. Double die or doubled design elements. Double die obverse or reverse doubling can be dramatic, especially when legends or dates show clear doubling. Strong, authenticated double die errors are highly collectible and fetch significant premiums compared to normal examples. eBay. Clipped planchets and ragged clips. A clipped planchet is where a portion of the coin blank was missing when the coin was struck. Some clipped 1999 quarters have sold for attractive amounts depending on size and aesthetic. eBay. Missing clad layer or broad errors. Coins with missing layers of the outer metal that reveal core metal or show unusual surfaces are interesting to collectors. These coins can be rare and command higher prices at auction. Struck through, die cracks, and die chips. These are common error categories that can add value to otherwise common coins. Some 1999 state quarters with dramatic die cracks have been offered for sale online and in auctions. eBay. How much are normal 1999 state quarters worth today? If your coin is a run-of-the-mill circulated 1999 D or 1999 P state quarter, its value is normally 25 cents to a few dollars depending on condition. Gems and high mint state examples that are raw but have exceptional eye appeal sell for higher, and graded MS67 to MS69 examples are where serious value starts to appear. For specific examples, Coin price guides and trusted auction results show typical top values for mint state pieces in the low thousands at most for the very best specimens. CoinWeek notes that some 1999 state quarters can be worth up to several $1,000s in rare grades or as certified special examples. We are diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable modern era coins ever discovered, the legendary 2000p Georgia state quarter struck on a 1788 planchet. This incredible mint error has been making headlines in the coin collecting world because of its staggering current market valuation of over $1.16 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. A state quarter from the year 2000 paired with a planchet tied to the date 1788 has turned into a numismatic treasure worth a fortune. To understand why this coin is so special, let's first break down the history behind it. In the year 2000, the United States Mint was producing the extremely popular 50 state quarters program. These quarters were minted in huge numbers, with hundreds of millions released into circulation. However, among all those regular strikes, an error occurred at the Philadelphia Mint. Instead of being struck on the correct quarter planchet, this coin was struck on a transitional planchet connected to an older series dated back to 1788. That date is significant because 1788 marks the ratification year of Georgia into the Union, making this error even more symbolic. This was not just a simple off-metal strike. It represents a rare minting accident where leftover or mismatched stock from the minting process was fed into the presses. The result is a coin that should not exist but does, making it one of the most spectacular mint error coins of modern times. Collectors love these kinds of mistakes because they showcase the hidden mysteries of the minting process and prove that even with today's technology, unexpected errors can slip through. Now let's talk about why the value of this quarter has skyrocketed. Most state quarters in circulation are only worth face value. Even uncirculated examples or proof issues might only be worth a few dollars. But when you combine rarity, historical significance, and collector demand, the price can climb into the stratosphere. With only one verified example of the 2000p Georgia quarter struck on a 1788 planchet, it has become a unique one-of-one specimen. In numismatics, rarity is everything, and this coin is at the absolute top of the rarity scale. Auction houses and private collectors have placed jaw-dropping bids on this piece. Recent appraisals and private sales discussions have valued it at around $1.16 million, making it one of the most valuable modern coins ever to exist. That is more than many famous classic rarities from the 19th century and shows that collectors are willing to pay incredible sums for unique errors that capture the imagination. The story of the 2000p Georgia state quarter struck on a 1788 planchet is not only about money. It is also about history, the minting process, and the thrill of discovery. Imagine finding a coin like this in circulation. While the odds are virtually impossible today, it reminds collectors and treasure hunters that amazing finds can still exist. If you are a coin collector, the lesson here is clear. Always check your change. Always look at the details. Even coins that seem ordinary at first glance can hide spectacular secrets. A quarter worth 25 cents to most people could turn out to be $1 million coin if it carries the right kind of mint error. So to sum it all up, the 2000p Georgia quarter on a 1788 planchet is one of the rarest error coins in U.S. history. Its current market value stands at about $1.16 million, making it a crown jewel in any collection. Its story combines the birth of the state of Georgia, the modern state quarter program, and the enduring appeal of rare and mysterious minting accidents. We are diving deep into a coin that most people toss into piggy banks but that has its own quiet story. The 2002p Mississippi State Quarter, also known to some viewers as the 2002 Mississippi Quarter with the date 1817 on the reverse, which marks the year Mississippi became a state. Stick around because by the end you will know everything you need to spot a valuable example and avoid getting scammed. Imagine finding a coin in loose change that looks almost ordinary but suddenly becomes the center of a heated collector debate. Is it worth a lot? Is it a rare error? Is it a fake? Today we will separate myth from market facts and reveal which versions of this quarter can fetch real money and which ones are just face value. Part 1: Design and Story. The coin we are talking about is part of the U.S. Mint State Quarters program launched to celebrate the 50 states. One of the 5 state quarters released in 2002, the Mississippi design shows magnolia blossoms and the words "the Magnolia State" along with The number 1817 that commemorates Mississippi statehood on the reverse. The obverse features the familiar portrait of George Washington crafted from the original 18th century portrait that the series is known for. The artist for the Mississippi reverse was Donna Weaver, and the design aims to evoke the state flower and heritage. This coin was struck in Philadelphia with a P mint mark and in huge millions of pieces. The circulating supply for state quarters is enormous, which means normal circulated examples are common and worth what they say, 25 cents. That is the critical baseline. Most collectors who have an unremarkable worn Mississippi quarter are looking at its face value unless the coin is in exceptional condition or has a verified error. Now for the part that gets collectors excited: errors and varieties. Not all mistakes are rare, but a few types occasionally raise attention. Here are the ones to know. Double die doubling shows doubled letters or details often on the legends like Liberty or in God We Trust. A strong double die on a modern quarter can be interesting, but it must be dramatic and verified. Die cud or rim cud is a raised blob-like area on the rim caused by a broken die edge. These can sometimes sell for hundreds to low thousands of dollars depending on grade and rarity. Planchet errors and missing clad lamination are another category. These happen when the outer cladding peels or is missing an you see underlying metal showing. Many sellers list such coins online, and some legitimate errors will command premiums over face value. Proof-like or deep cameo proof examples struck in San Francisco and specially packaged pieces for collectors can be worth more than circulation examples, but again only when verified and in top grade. A circulated quarter with noticeable wear is almost always worth 25 cents. A crisp uncirculated example graded by a top service like PCGS or NGC will be worth more, but usually in the low dollars. For this series only very high numerical grades and certified flawless examples produce noteworthy premiums. Even then we are usually talking about amounts far below 5 figures for a common modern state quarter. You may have seen dramatic headlines or viral posts claiming that a 2002 Mississippi quarter sold for $1.15 million. That claim is false and is part of a pattern of exaggerated internet listings and clickbait. To be blunt, no verified auction record from major numismatic houses supports a $1.15 million sale for any standard 2002 Mississippi quarter. If you see a social media post with that figure, treat it with extreme skepticism. If someone asks you to wire money to buy such a coin without third-party verification, walk away. Real sales for notable error examples do exist and can reach hundreds to a few $1,000s in verified auctions. A documented example with a rim cut or dramatic die break in a high numeric grade sold for approximately $1,125 at auction in the past. That is a real realized price for a notable error from this issue, but it is a far cry from millions. Genuine high-end sales will be well documented on auction house sites and in auction consignor catalogs, so always ask for the lot number and sale archive. Part 7: How to inspect your coin like a Prousa loop 10 times magnification or a decent macro camera photo. Look at the legends for doubling and at the rim for cuds or missing clad layers. Hold the coin under a strong light to inspect for proof-like mirrors or cameo contrasts. Compare to verified images from trusted sites and from PCGS and NGC archives. If the coin has an unusual color or extremely rough surface, take multiple photos because many fakes are created from altered coins. Part 8: How to grade and where to get it certified. If you find what you believe is a valuable error, send it to a reputable third-party grading service for authentication. A certified grade from an established company dramatically increases buyer confidence and the value of the error. If you plan to sell, use a reputable auction house or a recognized dealer and insist on secure payment methods. Never accept payment by gift card or wire from an unknown buyer. Use escrow or well-known auction platforms. If someone claims that a coin is worth an outrageous amount, ask for the auction record or the certificate number that proves it was sold. If the seller gets defensive about third-party verification, that is a red flag. Most 2002 Mississippi quarters are worth face value or a small premium if uncirculated. The really valuable ones are properly documented error coins or proof-like examples in the highest grades. Even then you should expect realistic prices in the low hundreds or low thousands for true errors and rare high-grade proofs. The internet hype about a $1.15 million sale is a myth and not supported by reliable auction archives. We are diving deep into a coin theme that keeps popping up in comments and forums: the curious case of the 2008 1912 quarter, the 1908 and 1912 Barber quarters, and the rumor that one of these is worth a staggering $1.14 million. Spoiler alert, there is a grain of truth, a heap of confusion, and a healthy dose of numismatic reality. Let's go. Okay, picture this. Someone posts a photo of a 2008 state quarter and claims it's worth $1 million because it bears the number 1912 on the reverse. Another person says they found a 1912 quarter in circulation that sold at auction for hundreds of thousands. Fans on social media are whispering 1.14 million. Today we're going to explain what these coins actually are, why some quarters do sell for six figures or more, and why most of the time that $1 million headline is hype. Section 1. What is the 2008 P1912 quarter? First, decode the name. The United States Mint released the 50 state quarters program from 1999 to 2008. In 2008 the Arizona quarter was issued to celebrate statehood. The reverse design for that Arizona quarter actually includes the year 1912 because that is the year Arizona became a state. So when someone writes 2008 P1912 quarter, they may be describing a 2008 Philadelphia Mint Arizona state quarter that shows the number 1912 as part of its design. That's the innocent explanation. The coin itself was struck in 2008, the 1912 on the design is a historical reference, not the coin's date. The United States Mint explains the Arizona reverse and its use of 1912 in the design. USMint.gov Section 2, are 2008 state quarters worth a lot? Most 2008 state quarters, even those from Philadelphia with the letter P or designs showing 1912, are common and worth face value unless they show a rare minting error, are in perfect proof or mint state condition, or are part of a very small special release. For example, state quarter errors like dramatic die breaks, doubling, or misplaced dies can bump value to tens or occasionally hundreds of dollars for collectors, but the ordinary 2008 circulation strike is worth 25 cents. Multiple coin collecting sources and appraisers confirm that the vast majority of 2008 state quarters are not rare and sell for small premiums at best unless they have a documented, extreme error. Section 3, back to 1912 and 1908. The Barber Quarters now switched time zones back to the early 20th century. The Barber Quarter series, struck 1892 to 1916 and designed by Charles E. Barber, includes issues dated 1908 and 1912. These are silver quarters, and their value depends on mint mark, condition, and rarity. A regular 1912 Philadelphia Barber quarter in average circulated condition might be worth in the low tens of dollars. High-grade, certified examples, proof strikes, or scarce mint mark variants can command hundreds or several thousands of dollars. Price guides and certified population databases from major grading services put typical 1912 Barber values in a moderate range, with high-grade exceptions. Section 4. So where does the 1.14 million number come from? Here's the critical part. There are rare quarters in U.S. history that have sold for six figures and even over $1 million. But those are almost always extremely early issues, experimental strikes, error patterns, or surviving proof specimens of very low mintage series dating to the 18th or early 19th century. Examples include draped bust and 1796 quarter types and other extraordinary rarities. Barber series coins can fetch very high prices in exceptional circumstances. The 1901 Barber quarter is famously one of the series' most valuable and has sold for large sums, but a run-of-the-mill 1912 or a 2008 state quarter that merely shows 1912 in its design is not the same as a unique early-dated rarity. Auction records and price guides show the most eye-popping $1 million-plus results belong to a handful of extremely rare types, not to a standard 2008 or ordinary 1912 Barber quarter. If you read a social post claiming 1.14 million for a 2008 P Arizona or a basic 1912 Barber coin, treat it skeptically. Section 5. Examples of what really sells for big money. To get a feel for the top end of the market, some very early U.S. quarters, pattern coins, or unique proof specimens have crossed the $1 million threshold at auction. Collectors pay premiums for absolute rarity, pristine condition, verified provenance, and strong demand among specialists. In the Barber series, the real heavy hitters are coins like the 1901 in high grade and certain proof or pattern pieces. Those can sell for tens of thousands and in exceptional cases hundreds of thousands, but the seven-figure sales tend to come from earlier, rarer types. If you are hunting for a seven-figure quarter, you will not typically find it in a pocket roll from 2008 or a circulated 1912. Auction archives and dealer guides document these results and explain the context. Great Collection Section 6, How to tell if your quarter is worth more than FAC. If you want to know whether yours has real value, here's a practical checklist. First, know what coin you actually have. Read the obverse date of the coin itself. If the coin is dated 2008, it's a modern state quarter. If the coin is dated 1912 or 1908, it's an older barber quarter. Don't confuse design dates printed on a modern coin's reverse with the coin's mintage year. Second, check for mint marks. Barber quarters have mint marks on the reverse below the eagle and can be P, D, S, or none. For modern state quarters, Philadelphia strikes often show no mint mark or AP depending on the year and release. Third, look for errors. Doubling, die cracks, misplaced letters, off-center strikes, and unusual planchet issues can make modern quarters worth significantly more than face value. Fourth, examine condition. High-grade certified coins can be worth many times the raw market value of an ungraded, worn example. Grading and authentication are the only reliable ways to get top dollar in the collector market. Fifth, if you think you have something special, photograph it, get a conservative online price check from reputable dealers or price guides, and consider sending it to a grading service for professional evaluation. Price guides and grading services will give you baseline values and auction comparables. Section 7, Common Scenarios. ICONLNE Scenario 1. Someone posts a crisp photo of a 2008 Arizona quarter and someone else sees the 1912 in the design and thinks the coin is a 1912 issue. That's a misunderstanding. Scenario 2. Someone claims they found a 1912 quarter and that it's worth $1 million because of an internet list of millionaire quarters. Often those lists conflate highly graded, exceptionally rare specimens with common dates. Scenario 3. A seller inflates the price hoping for a lapsed buyer who doesn't know how to read mint marks or compare auction results. The remedy is always provenance and verification. Don't buy a coin sight unseen for an eye-popping sum without independent authentication. Section 8. What collectors pay. If our collectors are not paying for bold. They are paying for rarity, condition, and story. A one-of-a-kind provenance, an error never seen before, or a grade so high that the coin outclasses every other known specimen in a census will drive auctions into six figures. For moderate rarities such as most barber quarters from common years, the price ceiling in typical auctions is normally thousands to tens of thousands, not millions. That said, the market is dynamic and exceptional coins in unexpected grade do surface and sell for far more than casual estimates. Always check auction archives and major dealer listings for comparables. We are diving into a wild numismatic mashup that keeps popping up online. The phrase 2007 P1896 quarter and the claim that a coin like this is worth $1.8 million. I am going to walk you through exactly what people mean when they say those numbers, why that combination is confusing, the real stories behind the two likely coins involved, the realistic market values for each type, and how to spot truly rare high-value quarters so you do not get scammed or misled. Opening T. Stay with me to the end, because I will show you the single most important thing to check on any quarter that someone tells you is worth a fortune, and I will give you realistic price ranges you can expect in 2025 for the genuine rarity segment. 1. Clear up the confusion fast. When you see the string 2007 P1896, it is almost always mixing together two separate facts about American quarters. The 2007 P marking points to a modern state quarter minted in 2007, sometimes with a P mint mark for Philadelphia, or simply described as the 2007 Utah State Quarter. That Utah quarter commemorates Utah joining the Union in 1896, so you get both years appearing in descriptions and listings, and that is the source of the confusing label. The Utah State Quarter itself is a modern circulation coin made to honor the fact that Utah became a state in 1896. CollectorsAlliance.com Segment 2. The 2007 Utah State Quarter, what it is and what it is worth. The 2007 Utah Quarter is part of the State Quarters program, and the reverse design highlights Utah's role in the Transcontinental Railroad and other state symbols. That coin is commonly encountered in circulation and in unremarkable condition. It is worth face value or slightly more to collectors if it Has a special finish proof strike or is a silver proof from special sets genuine 90% silver proof. State quarters from that era are collectible, but their value is generally modest when compared with classic 19th century coins. Most circulated 2007 Utah quarters are worth between 25 cents and a few dollars depending on condition and any era variety. Sell rare coins +1 Segment 3 The 1896 Barber Quarter. The historic coin behind the year. The other coin that appears in this mashup is the Barber Quarter from 1896. This is a classic 19th century silver quarter that has legitimate numismatic value that varies widely by mint branch condition and grade. The Barber Quarter was struck at several mints in 1896 and some mint marks are rarer than others. High-grade survivors can command strong prices in auctions and dealers' listings of very high grade. Example from 1896 in gem condition or certified as MS66 or above can be worth thousands to tens of thousands of dollars, and in extreme top grades rare pieces have sold for much more. The typical circulated 1896 Barber quarter will be worth from a few dozen dollars up to a few $100 depending on exact variety and wear. JM Bullion +1 Segment 4 Where the $1 million myth comes from and why to be skeptical. There are a few reasons a claim like a quarter being worth $1.8 million can appear. First, online listings and auction write-ups sometimes have errors or sensational titles that conflate multiple facts. Second, rare error coins or extreme condition survivors are sometimes misreported or priced aspirationally by sellers, hoping a collector will bite. Third, fraudsters and clickbait channels love to inflate values to attract attention. It is important to know that no authoritative auction record or major dealer valuation supports a routine 2007 Utah quarter being worth $1 million+, and there is no widely documented sale of any standard 1896 Barber quarter for $1.8 million as of September 25, 2025. If you see a listing claiming $1.8 million, ask for provenance certification, past auction records and third-party grading papers before believing it. NGC coin +1 Segment 5 Real high-value quarter scenarios. When big prices happen. Big prices do happen in numismatics, but under narrow conditions. Rare mint errors, stellar mint state grades, tiny surviving populations and documented pedigree. Proven item is special. Real examples of quarters or other small denomination coins selling for extraordinary sums typically involve certification by major grading services, NGC or PCGS, and auction records that show multiple bidders competing, often across several auction houses. Real-life $1 million coin stories usually involve far rarer issues than a modern state quarter or a run-of-the-mill Barber quarter. Most high-end sales come from unique proofs, pattern coin, celebrity provenance, or an accepted rarity that is recognized by the numismatic community and the auction record. NGC coin +1 Segment 6 How to authenticate and evaluate your quarter. Step by step. Number 1. Check the date and mint mark with a loupe or sharp photo. Number 2. Look for third-party grading or authentication from PCGS, NGC or ANAX. Number 3. Search auction records and realized prices for that exact date, mint and grade. Number 4. Examine for documented pedigrees or letters of provenance. Number 5. Look for common error signs that are real value multipliers versus mere die chips or minor rim dings. Minor die chips and common strike problems rarely add huge value. Many sellers mislabel these as rare. If you are uncertain, use a reputable dealer or post high-resolution images to established coin forums for feedback. Those simple steps will prevent most scams. Coin value checker +1 Segment 7 Realistic price ranges today. For quick reference, common 2007 state quarter circulated condition. Expect roughly face value to a few dollars. Silver proof 2007 state quarters in low grade single digits to perhaps $10 in many cases depending on set provenance. Typical 1896 Barber quarter circulated condition, tens of dollars to a few $100s depending on mint branch and where. Uncirculated 1896 Barber quarters start to push into the mid-hundreds to thousands in MS63, MS64 territory. Extremely high-grade examples or rare mint branch issues can reach tens of thousands or more at auction, and a few exceptional certified pieces can fetch substantially higher sums, but these are the outliers. Not one of these standard paths supports a generic $1.8 million valuation without extraordinary supporting evidence. JM Bullion +2 Coin Study +2 Segment 8 Spot the red flags in listings and videos if the seller uses words like unique, original, one of a kind without photos or certification. Question it if the listing has overly dramatic language and a huge price with no past auction record or provenance. That is a red flag. If a YouTube video or social post shows only low-resolution photos or refuses to provide close UPS, ask for high-resolution front and back images and higher magnification of the date and mint mark. Always ask whether the coin has a third-party grade and find the certification number on the grader's website. eBay Segment 9B Roll and shot list for your video. If you are producing content, open with close-up macros of a 2007 Utah quarter obverse and reverse, then cut to an 1896 Barber quarter rotating on a turntable. Insert archival black and white images of the Philadelphia Mint and 1890s era footage. When discussing history, use animated overlays to show the two dates, 2007 and 1896, and a graphic explaining why they get conflated. Insert screenshots of reputable price guides and auction results. When discussing value, provide side-by-side comparison of an ungraded circulated coin and a slabbed PCGS or NGC certified coin and zoom into the grade label. Call out common error features and highlight which ones are meaningful. Sell rare coins +1 Segment 10 Closing Summary and Final Advice. To summarize, when you see a listing claiming a 2007 P1896 quarter is worth $1.8 million, take a breath. That phrase most likely mixes a 2007 Utah State quarter which commemorates 1896 with a classic 1896 Barber quarter. The modern 2007 coin rarely is worth more than a few dollars unless it is a true rare error or a special proof set piece. The 1896 Barber quarter can be valuable in high grade, but values usually range from modest amounts into the thousands or tens of thousands for exceptional pieces, not millions without extraordinary evidence. If you believe you own a truly exceptional coin, get it certified by NGC or PCGS, get provenance, and seek multiple independent opinions.
I will cut through the hype and show you what the real market looks like, how real collectors value 2017 D quarters, the kinds of errors that can be valuable, and exactly what to do if you think you found something rare. By the end of this video you will know what is realistic and how to protect yourself from clickbait. The 2017 D quarter is one of the Denver minted coins from the America the Beautiful and National Park quarter series that the United States Mint produced. Most of these coins were distributed into circulation and are common. Typical circulated examples are worth face value. High grades and special proof or silver strikes can be worth more, but those prices are modest compared with the sensational million-dollar claims you may have seen. Reliable price guides and auction summaries show that most 2017 D America the Beautiful quarters sell for only a few dollars at most unless they have a clear, authenticated error, an extremely rare variety, or a superb uncirculated grade. Segment 2 Why the million-dollar claim is almost certainly wrong. You might have seen a headline or a short viral clip that says a 2017 D quarter is worth $1.9 million. I searched major auction houses and the leading grading services and found no credible auction record where a 2017 D quarter achieved that price. Major numismatic authorities maintain public auction databases and price guides that list realized prices and recorded sales. Those databases show that genuine high-dollar sales for quarters are typically reserved for extremely rare historic coins from the 1700s or early 1800s, or for famous mint errors with strong provenance and high grading. A modern 2017 D quarter has no documented sale anywhere near that seven-figure figure in reputable auction archives. If you see a claim of $1.9 million without a verifiable auction catalog number, provenance, and grading report from PCGS or NGC, treat it as unverified clickbait. Segment 3 Where the valuable 2017 quarters come from and how much they actually fetch. When modern quarters become collectible and fetch more than face value, it is almost always because of one of four factors. First factor, scarcity due to low mintage or special strike. Second factor, exceptional grade, meaning a coin graded MS69 or MS70 by a leading service. Third factor, a confirmed mint error that is rare and documented. Fourth factor, market demand tied to a collector rush for a specific variety. For 2017 D quarters, the things that have produced above face value sales are error coins such as double dies, struck through grease errors, die chips, and off-center strikes. These examples have been known to sell at auction for tens to a few $100s and in rare documented cases a few hundred to a few $1,000s depending on grade and uniqueness. A notable example is a 2017 D Ozark Riverways double die specimen that sold for a few $100s on the auction market. The realistic top-of-market sales for error examples of 2017 D quarters are orders of magnitude smaller than $1.9 million. Segment 4 Common error types to look for and how to recognize them. Double die where design elements appear doubled and the doubling looks like a second strike of the die in relief. Die chips and cuds where a portion of the rim or design is missing or raised because the die broke. Struck through grease where grease or debris left ghost images or smears on the surface. Off-center strikes where the design is visibly shifted away from the center. Planchet defects such as clipped planchets or foreign metal laminations. Toning alone rarely creates huge value unless it is beautiful, original, and appeals to a particular buyer. If you think you found one of these errors in a 2017 D quarter, compare high-resolution photos to known examples, and consult major reference image databases before assuming huge value. Segment 5 Grading matters more than hype. A key reason why many modern coins sell for money is professional grading. A certified grade from PCGS or NGC with a matching population and auction history gives confidence to buyers and often multiplies the retail value. For modern coins like the 2017 D quarter, an NGC or PCGS grade in the high 60s may increase value, but even top-graded modern quarters generally sell in the low hundreds or less unless they are a genuinely rare error or an ultra-low mintage strike. If someone tells you a coin is worth millions without providing a slab certification number and auction provenance, it is almost always Segment 6 How to verify your coin step by step. Step 1 Examine mint mark and date. The D mint mark is a small d near the date. Step 2 Inspect for obvious errors under a loop or macro photo. Step 3 Compare with price guides and auction databases using the coin name and grade to find realized prices. Step 4 Send high-quality images to a reputable coin forum and then, if the coin still looks special, get it slabbed by PCGS or NGC for authentication. Step 5 If you decide to sell, choose a reputable auction house or an experienced dealer and ask for references. Auction houses that specialize in coins will require provenance and certification before offering high estimates. Segment 7 How to avoid scams and clickbait. Viral videos and social posts often use a wild number to get clicks. They might show a close-up and say the coin is worth $1.9 million without showing an auction record, certification sticker, or catalog number. Always ask for 3 things. 1. The slab number or certification report. 2. A clear image of the entire coin including edge and mint mark. 3. The auction lot record if they claim a sale occurred. If you cannot get those 3 items, do not accept the claim. Segment 8 If you want to sell, what to expect and where to go. If your 2017 D quarter is just a circulation strike with lightware, you will likely get face value at a bank and a small collector premium if it is an uncirculated specimen in high grade. If it has a confirmed, dramatic error verified by a grading service, small auction houses and eBay sell many of these for tens to hundreds of dollars. For high-end errors or exceptional proofs and modern rarities, use established coin auction houses or dealers and insist on slab certification before listing. Heritage auctions, Stax Bowers, and certified dealer auctions are good places to start. Always read the auction archive to find realized prices for comparable coins to set realistic expectations. Segment 9 Final verdict on the $1.9 million claim. Conclusion is simple. There is no verifiable record from major grading services or leading auction houses showing a 2017 D quarter realized a sale of $1.9 million. Evidence from PCGS and NGC price guides and auction databases shows realistic sales for 2017 D quarters and their error varieties are small relative to that figure. Modern clickbait can mislead, and collectors should rely on documentation and reputable grading and auction records. If someone tells you a 2017 D quarter is worth $1.9 million, show them this video and ask for the slab number and the lot record. If they cannot produce it, do not be fooled.
Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in modern coin collecting. The 2020 P quarter dollar coin. At first glance it looks just like any other quarter you might find in your pocket change. But behind its shiny surface lies a story of rarity, minting history, and a collector's dream that has shocked the coin market. Some examples of this very coin have been reported with values skyrocketing to an unbelievable $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right. A simple 2020 quarter could change your life. Let's start with the basics. In 2020, the United States Mint released several America the Beautiful quarters as part of its ongoing commemorative series. These coins were struck at different mints including Philadelphia, which is marked with the P Mint mark. Millions of these were produced, but only a tiny fraction carry the qualities that collectors are hunting for today. Why would a quarter worth 25 cents suddenly be valued at over $1 million? The answer is in the details. Minting errors, low population of flawless coins, and historical context all combine to create extreme value. For the 2020 P quarter, collectors discovered rare varieties where the strike was exceptionally sharp, the finish unusually pristine, or small minting errors made them one of a kind. Coins graded in the highest condition by professional grading services can reach astonishing prices at auction point. One of the most talked about examples is the 2020 P quarter that achieved the elusive perfect grade from the professional coin grading service. Because so few coins survive circulation in flawless condition, the demand from collectors far outweighs the supply. When bidding wars erupt among high-end collectors, prices climb to levels that seem almost unreal. That is exactly how we get to that incredible $1.7 million price tag, but there is more. The 2020 P quarter holds a place in history as it was released during a year unlike any other. With the global events of 2020, limited circulation, and unusual collecting patterns, coins from that year gained extra attention. People began checking their change more closely than ever before. And when word spread that rare varieties of this quarter were reaching six figures and beyond, the treasure hunt began. Now let's talk about the market today. While the headline number of $1.7 million grabs attention, not every 2020 P quarter is worth anywhere near that amount. The average circulated example is still just 25 cents. But coins in mint state condition, especially those graded above MS-67, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Special varieties or error coins can easily climb into tens of thousands. And the rarest perfect specimens are the ones that break into the record-setting millions. So what should you do if you have a 2020 P quarter in your pocket right now? First, examine it carefully. Look for a strong strike, clean fields, no scratches, and sharp details. If it looks pristine, consider submitting it to a professional grading service. Even if it does not reach the highest possible grade, it could still be worth a nice premium over face value. Collectors always say history hides in plain sight. A simple quarter you spend on a cup of coffee might actually be a key to financial freedom if it happens to be one of these ultra-rare examples. That is the thrill of coin collecting and why stories like the 2020 P quarter continue to capture the imagination. In conclusion, the 2020 P quarter-dollar coin is not just another piece of change. It is a reminder that rarity, history, and condition can turn everyday objects into treasures worth a fortune. With one perfect specimen fetching $1.7 million, this coin has already secured its place in numismatic history.